Thanks, Matt. Well, we got to experience the road for the first time this season, and wasn't exactly too kind to us, dropping 3 out of the 4 games that we played out on the road. But, winning is tough, especially out on the road. It's tough at home, but especially out on the road. And we got to went that firsthand. Went up to Tech, first road game of the season, and just didn't think we competed hard enough at the plate to get things done in that game. Evan Guillory got his first start of the 2016 season and didn't pitch bad, only gave up 2 runs through 4 innings. So, I've seen him better, but he did his job. We just didn't compete well enough at the plate to get anything done throughout the course of the ball game and dropped that game. And then headed into Houston for the weekend. Got a good practice in on Thursday in a great venue, professional ballpark. Minute Maid Park is just beautiful to play, to take in a game, all that stuff. And downtown Houston was great for us. So we had a great practice on Thursday and got into the weekend, matched up with a very, very good TCU baseball team on Friday. Again, just didn't do enough to win. Gunner certainly did enough. Gunner did his part. Pitched really, really tough in a tough venue against a tough team. But again, didn't do enough offensively to get things done in that game. And moved on to Saturday. Wyatt Marks, I thought, was outstanding in his outing. From there, he gave the ball to Hogan Harris, who was outstanding in his performance in his 2 innings. From there, handed the ball off to Dylan Moore, our All-American closer, who was outstanding also. Competed a little better offensively in that game. Took a lead into the 9th. Did what we had to do to win the game. We just didn't win the game. Mental error at shortstop cost us, that ball game, unfortunately. So, the games that you win, that you just don't win, are tough to take. And that was a tough one to swallow on Saturday. But, we had to regroup, move into Sunday, because Rice surely wasn't going to feel sorry for us. So moved into Sunday night, had to wait all day to play that game, 2 hours after the scheduled time. The guys were just sitting at the park, but fought through it. And once the game started, it's baseball. So, Nick started off a little shaky and then really settled in. And once he settled in, really gave their hitters no shot. He was just outstanding, pitched tough. We knew that's what he was capable of doing, and he showed it, on Sunday. Our hitters competed throughout the whole game, had some really hard outs, and then finally got the big hit by Stephen Trosclair. We've been waiting all season for that to show up, and it finally showed up. I don't know if it's a coincidence or not that the first game he plays at second base, he probably has his best offensive game of the year. So, but regardless, he got it done for us, and we held on in the 8th and the 9th with Jevin Huval to get that save and salvage a win for the weekend. If you're going to win only one game for the weekend, just as soon be the last game. So that trip home feels a lot better, and it surely did feel a lot better. It felt like we had accomplished something that weekend, even though we had dropped 2 games. We felt that we really competed well in 2 of the 3 games. So that was good to see. Looking at this week, UNO here tonight, which is going to be a challenge for us, coming off of the road. Got home real late Monday morning. Kids had the day off yesterday, but they had class and tests and all those things to take care of. So it'll be a challenge for us tonight. They've gotten off to a good start. Hit the road again tomorrow for McNeese, and then 3 with Sacred Heart this weekend. So we look forward to the challenge ahead. The guys are ready to go out and get it done this week. They really are. This is a very good group as far as taking care of their business, off the field. What I mean by that is their weight sessions, the things they have to do in the classroom, watching them throughout the fall and throughout this early spring. They really, really manage their time well. So hopefully they were able to do that, get some rest. I told them yesterday in the locker room, really make sure you get rest tonight, replenish your bodies, because with 5 games, it's going to be a tough week. It's going to be tough on their bodies, both physically and mentally. So hopefully they've got some good rest yesterday and come out ready to go today for UNO. Or any questions?
Hogan Harris is going to be getting the start. Is that something
A little bit of both. We've kind of seen him as the fifth starter on weeks that we have 5 games. But, to do what he did opening weekend and to do what he did again on Saturday in a very, very big venue, in a very big spot, very big moment, against a team like Texas Tech, pretty much solidified what we were thinking, that he can be that fifth starter.
Is it Tuesday rather than Wednesday, so that you'll have him available for the weekend?
That's correct.
Will Bacon has had a couple of tough outings. Have you guys noticed anything mechanically he's doing different? I guess this follow-up question is he healthy?
He's very healthy. He's very healthy. No, nothing really mechanically. I know that Coach Freeman has spoken to him about pitch selection, so maybe something more of that, more so than health or mechanics. But, he was in the bullpen. He was up in the pen on Sunday. So, if it had come down to it, we'd have used him out of the pen on Sunday against Rice. So he'll be back in the pen tonight, and we won't hesitate to use him because we know he's one of our guys. And you're right, his first 2 outings have been a little shaky, but we think that maybe more so with pitch selection than anything else.
Another guy who's off to a slow start is Kenneth Babineaux. He got off to a slow start last year too in the field. How do you make sure he stays in the right frame of mind and not start to press?
Well, he's a motivated kid, as all of them are. But we just gotta kind of continue to work with him as we are, continue to have talks with him about the mental part of the game, and just make sure that he keeps working, because throughout your struggles, if you don't work or don't deserve to succeed, then you surely won't. And Kennan is a very highly motivated kid, so he's going to continue to work. Pretty certain he put in some time yesterday during their off day in the cages on his own, just trying to get better, to continue to get better. So, he's not a guy that we're going to shelf for the rest of the season. We think we need him to be successful, as some other guys that are off to some slow starts.
Anthony, what I think I've heard you say is you're very pleased, at least so far, with your pitching staff. Can you talk about them, and has that surprised you?
It hasn't surprised us one bit. We knew that we were very, very good on the pitching side of things coming into this season. Should I say, very, very talented on the pitching side of things this season. Guys still have to go out and perform, but up to this date, everybody has really done what we thought that they were capable of doing. Gunnar has been Gunnar. Wyatt, in our opinion, has been even better than he was towards the end of last season. Nick Lee has come out and pitched at a high level for a freshman. So has Hogan Harris. Dylan Moore out of the bullpen, has been really good. The one guy maybe that hasn't performed up to par is, Will Bacon, who we just mentioned. But, we're not concerned that this is going to be something that he can't get out of. He just needs to get back out there. But, with the pitching staff that we have, we know that we're going to be in every ball game. Our pitchers are going to give us a chance to succeed. We've played good defense up to this point. I know the mistakes that were made defensively this weekend at the shortstop position kind of makes it seem like that things fell apart. But, going into this weekend, we'd only made one error for the entire season, and that was just a muffed ball at first base by Trosclair. He just kind of whiffed on a ball. Probably never even should have happened. So really good. We played really good defense, and we think we're going to continue to play good defense. So with our pitching and playing good defense, that's going to give us a chance to compete night in and night out. What we've got to continue to do is to find ourselves at the plate. We have 3 or 4 guys that are hitting 400, and then 3 or 4 guys that are hitting either 0 or $150. So we've got to get those guys that are down to find themselves and to kind of help the team, and hopefully what Trosclair did on Sunday, that can get us going, because he's a catalyst for us. If he gets going, that can take some pressure off some of these other guys that are struggling right now, and they can loosen up a little bit and hopefully get going.
Can you talk about the run game? You guys have been caught a couple times early, had 2 big stolen bases Sunday. Teams are also pitching out more. Is that something that teams are paying more attention to, and is that affecting any of the at-bats that the guys are having?
Well, I think over the last few years we have stolen a lot of bases, so teams are paying, closer attention to that. We're, a lot of picks, as you mentioned, some pitch outs. We put something on the other day against Texas Tech, count 1-0. It was a hit and run, and they pitched out. So, whether it be something that maybe they're on to sign-wise with us, or I think it's just more of a, they know we're an action team. They know we're not just going to sit there at first base and just try to go station to station. We try to push the envelope. So, with that being said, and we do the same thing, when we play teams that do a lot of things offensively, we'll call certain pitches and certain counts to try to help combat what they may be trying to do offensively. So, we haven't stolen as many bases as I thought we had up to this point. Our with the exception of the Sam Houston weekend, our base runners have kind of been down. We haven't had as many opportunities. Brian did a great job on Sunday against Rice, getting those 2 bags for us, one of them which led to the tying run. So, it's something that we're going to continue to do. But we've got to get on base in order to steal bases. So we've got to continue to work at the plate to have good long at bats, push pitch counts up on opposing pitchers, and get on base so that we can make some things happen.
Two guys that are definitely off to a hot start. What's been the biggest difference with Brent Conrad and Joe Robbins at the plate early this year?
I think both age, maturity. They're another year deeper into their career, and both of them deserve to succeed. They've worked really, really hard. Last year neither one of them were everyday players. Towards the end of the year, those 2 guys specifically, one would hit against right-handed pitchers, the other would hit against left-handed pitchers. They'd swap in and out every day. So neither one of them were everyday guys, but they worked hard, and both of their goals coming into this year were to become everyday guys. And both of them have really done that throughout the fall, throughout this spring, and carried us to this point without what those 2 guys have doing, especially Joe on both sides of the ball. Defensively, some of the plays he's made at third base, Sunday night helping us out at shortstop, giving stability to that position, which allowed Stephen to go to second base. Bryn can move to third. Coach has said a lot of times that we have a lot of moving parts, and we really do. We can play guys in many different positions, many different places, different times of the ball game. So, and I think you saw proof of that Sunday night, moving the infield around. We really liked what we saw out of the infield on Sunday night. I know that in the dugout, we felt confident, anytime a ball was put on the ground. We really did. And not that we haven't throughout the course of the year, but, especially Sunday, having older guys around the infield, from a junior, a senior, a junior, all the way around. You just, when the ball's put on the ground, you feel that, a play is going to be made, whether it be a third out of an inning, a double play that we need. You saw how quick Trosclair turned that ball over with Nick Lee when he looked at first, and then went to him at second. I mean, the ball was just in and out. In a split second, we were able to get that double play turn, which was really, really, really important.
Joe got off to a really, really fast start last year and then kind of tailed off. What happened there when he started to tail off, and how does he not go through that again this year?
Well, I think what happened last year to Joe, the part of his tailing off where, if you recall, Joe came off the field for quite a while last year, about midway through. He was making a lot of base running mistakes, that were taking us out of some innings, and it was happening too often. So, we made the decision that it was time for him to sit a little bit and just watch. When he handled it correctly and when he got back into the mix of things towards the end of the year, he really produced for us. He really did. So I think that kind of led to his drop-off offensively, is that, he wasn't being a complete player. You have to be doing a lot of things right to succeed, at this level or at this game. You can't just, if you're an everyday player, may I say, if you're an everyday player, you can't just do one thing really good, because that may help you, every so often, but it's not going to help in the grand scheme of things. So, and I think, the base running mistakes were it was frustrating him. It was frustrating us for sure, as a coaching staff, and it kind of led to, a drop off in his hitting. So, But as I said, he's smarter this year. He's older. He's more mature. Everything that he does this year that we've noticed is he's doing with a purpose. All of his work is with a purpose. His work in the cages, his work in the field, his work on the bases. There's something to be said when guys get older. You get it. It becomes easier for you, and especially if you've put in the time and deserve to succeed, as Joe has, and as we mentioned earlier, Brent Conrad has.
Coach, what's the, other than just it's early in the season, a lot of time pitchers are ahead of hitters, are there any telltale signs, or is it just a gut feeling if a guy gets off to a slow start, like you mentioned Dex the other day, you stuck with him because you thought between, okay, he's struggling, we might need to do something here, or let's just stick with him and it's going to happen? Is that just a gut thing, or is there any telltale signs there?
I think there's a combination, Kevin, a gut thing for sure, but you look at the ability that you think that they have, their physical ability, their athletic abilities, and then their at bats too. A lot of times, you can see guys that their at bats are getting a little better. They're making more solid contact from one at bat to the other, so that could tend to make you want to stick with that guy. Or as you said, sometimes you just have a feeling. With Dex, as I mentioned the other day, we just had a feeling, but it was more than just a feeling, because you got to remember that we're seeing these guys every day throughout the course of the fall semester and right now in the spring, and we're seeing things that they're doing to improve themselves each day. So when we stick with a guy, or sometimes when we sit a guy for a game or two, it's always based off of things that we see throughout the course of practices or games or things like that. And sometimes it happens and sometimes it don't. In the case of Kerstad, it worked. He went on to get 99 hits, I believe, which the record I think is 101. So, it worked. It worked for him. In the case of Trosclair, we've got it's not really a gut feeling, because we've got something to go off of what he did last year. He's not a 148 hitter. We know he's not going to continue to hit 148 for much longer. And hopefully Sunday night was the beginning of not hitting a $148 for much longer, because we need him. We need him to come on and be a mainstay for us offensively.
Anything else?
Thank you very much.